Well, good afternoon. Dr. Yaffe and Dr. Heyer pointed out yesterday, nearly 80% of the cases reported over the past few days are from regions now in the red control zone. Across the province in the last week, hospitalizations have increased by 22%. Intensive care unit admissions grew by nearly 50%. We are now teetering on the edge of having to delay scheduled surgeries. In fact, some hospitals like Scarborough Health Network have already had to delay surgeries. My friends, I've been clear on this. The situation is extremely serious. And further action is required to avoid the worst case scenario, where the rate of the community spread is greatest, the risk to our schools, our long-term care homes, hospitals is the greatest. We cannot put in-class learning at risk. We can't risk widespread outbreaks in our long-term care homes. We cannot risk overwhelming our hospitals. To protect our most vulnerable, to protect what matters most, we have to get the community spread under control. Since September, following the advice of our health experts, we've taken incremental steps. We've taken decisive action to slow the spread by introducing public health restrictions, increasing testing and contact tracing and enforcement. At the same time, we've invested billions of dollars to increase capacity in our healthcare system. These steps, they've helped thanks to our collective efforts. We've saved lives, but this virus, it spreads like wildfire. And in certain parts of the province, it's spreading at an alarming rate in the community. Last week, our modeling showed that if nothing was done, we could face 6,000 new daily cases in the coming weeks, overwhelming our ICUs shortly after that. More deaths, more losses, but we can avoid this if we take further action now. So after extensive consultation with the Chief Medical Officer of Health and the Public Health Measures Table, effective Monday, November 23rd at 12:01 a.m., Toronto and Peel will be moved into lockdown. Minister Elliott will walk you through the details in a moment. My friends, I know these past few months have been extremely difficult. COVID fatigue is setting in on all of us. But I've seen the strength of our people. And it's up to each and every one of us to determine our future, to write the next chapter of our history. And we all have a part to play. We must all rally around our businesses and our neighbors right now. We must support them. Our government will be there to do our part. We will spare no expense to support these businesses. Today, we're doubling our supports for business impacted by these measures. I've directed that up to $600 million in relief be made available immediately to help these businesses with fixed costs, including help with their hydro bills and property taxes. We will be there for these folks. Businesses can apply today for this relief and for PPE grant at ontario.ca/COVID support. And together, as a province, we can all make a difference. Please shop local. If you're shopping online, I know it can be easy just to go with Amazon. But please remember that you can buy the exact same product from a local store. Please buy from local stores. Please do your holiday shopping through curbside pickup or online stores. Support our restaurants and order takeout. And to be clear, grocery stores, pharmacies, big box stores will remain open safely with capacity limits to make sure you can access all the goods you need. So please, folks, avoid panic buying right now. I'm going to repeat that. Please avoid panic buying right now. There's no need to buy more than you need for a week or two. By avoiding the panic buying, we can make sure that supply chains are not impacted and there's enough for everyone. I know this is difficult news today. It's not where we want to be, but my friends, I have faith. Ontario will weather through this storm together. Please look out for each other. Please stick together. Because in this darkest hour, we see what we're made of. We see what we can endure. And we will endure, we will persevere, and we will get through this. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister Elliott.
Thank you, Premier, and good afternoon. Our top priority has always been the health and well-being of all Ontarians. Despite the range of public health measures and restrictions that have been in place since early October, we've seen the situation continue to worsen in regions across the province, particularly in hotspots like Peel and Toronto. It's clear more needs to be done to limit community transmission of COVID-19 so that we can keep our schools open, safeguard our health system capacity, and protect our most vulnerable. As we've seen around the world, lockdowns are a difficult but necessary step to prevent COVID-19 outbreaks and bend the curve in the number of new cases. Based on the recent data, and to protect the health and well-being of people and families in these communities, Peel Public Health and Toronto Public Health will be moving to lockdown effective Monday, November 23rd at 12:01 a.m. Measures under lockdown include no indoor private gatherings will be permitted with anyone outside your household. Individuals who live alone may have close contact with one other household. Outdoor gatherings will be limited to a maximum of 10 people. Retail stores providing non-essential services in shopping malls can operate through pickup or delivery. Non-essential storefront retail can stay open for curbside pickup or delivery only. Restaurants must close indoor dining, but may stay open for takeout and delivery. Religious services and weddings will be restricted to 10 people indoors and 10 people outdoors. Gyms, sports facilities, cinemas, casinos, museums, and personal services must close. Manufacturing, agriculture, supply chain, and most construction can continue. These measures are being put in place to prioritize the essential services we rely on. Schools will remain open. Childcare will remain open. Grocery stores, pharmacies, doctors' and dentists' offices, and other essential services will remain open with capacity limits. Today, we are also announcing that the following public health regions will be moving into the following levels in our COVID-19 response framework. As mentioned, Peel Public Health and Toronto Public Health regions will move into lockdown. Durham and Waterloo regions will move to the red control level. The Huron-Perth, Simcoe-Muskoka, Southwestern, and Windsor-Essex Public Health regions will move to the orange restrict level. And Chatham-Kent, Eastern Ontario, Grey Bruce, Kingston, Frontenac, and Lennox and Addington, Peterborough, and Thunder Bay and District Public Health regions will move to the yellow protect level. These new classifications will come into effect Monday, November 23rd at 12:01 a.m. In addition, for regions in the red control level, the limit for all organized public events and social gatherings has been reduced to 5 people indoors and 25 people outdoors. To further protect the health and safety of those in long-term care homes, staff, essential caregivers, and support workers who provide direct care to residents in regions that are in the orange restrict level or higher will be tested weekly for COVID-19 beginning Monday as well. And to further support public health unit regions, we are making additional enforcement mechanisms available to local medical officers of health by amending Ontario Regulation 950 under the Provincial Offences Act. This amendment will allow tickets to be issued if public health measures set by the local medical officer of health are not followed. We will also work with the Chief Justice of Ontario to create an order establishing a set fine of $750 to any ticket issued. I know this is not where we wanted to be, But our government and Ontarians have risen to the challenge before, and I know we can do it again. And with the recent news about the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But now more than ever, everyone must follow the public health advice and adhere to restrictions in your region. We will get through this together. Thank you. And I'll now invite Dr. Williams to please come forward.
Thank you, Premier and Minister. The discussions over the last few days have not been easy. Moving regions into more stringent levels is never a decision that is taken lightly. But recent data, trends, and key public health indicators continue to worsen for many regions in the province, and we need to take action to ensure we are protecting the health and safety of Ontarians. We understand the significant impact these changes will have on individuals, families, and communities, particularly for the regions of Peel and Toronto, which will be moving into lockdown. But imposing these measures are necessary at this time if we are to reduce the transmission of the virus and address increasing health capacity challenges. We must also take these steps to reduce the impacts on our long-term care homes and other congregate settings, where some of our more vulnerable members of the society reside. Taking this action now will further help to ensure that our schools and childcare centers remain open, allowing our children and youth to continue to learning and growing in a safe environment. A variety of these decisions involve careful review of the data and productive conversations with the local medical officers of health. The input received from our public health units is vital for putting the trends and data into context. Our medical officers of health and their teams are our boots on the ground. They're working tirelessly every day to protect the health and safety of their respective communities. And the information and insight they can provide us is invaluable as our assessments are made and our advice is provided. The decisions with respect to which each health unit level would be moved to, we are supported by the appropriate local medical officer of health. And for Toronto and Peel, while the maximum measures being imposed is not what we wanted to do, we all agreed that it was the right thing to do. Ontarians have continued to demonstrate their willingness to follow public health measures to keep their loved ones and communities safe from COVID-19. We have flattened the curve before, and I'm confident we can do it again. So thank you, and now I'll pass things over to Minister Phillips.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. All of us know a small business owner struggling due to COVID-19. We see the anxiety in their eyes when we get a haircut or visit our favorite restaurant. COVID-19 has hit them hard, but in Ontario, they have responded with resolve and resilience. They've adapted and provided safe experiences for their customers and employees. These necessary public health measures we have outlined today will create new challenges. But as we committed in Ontario's action plan, Protect, Support, and Recover, we will continue to be there to protect jobs and support employers. As Premier Ford announced, we will double the money available to support employers affected by the necessary public health measures we are taking to protect people from the second wave. The $600 million we are providing will help businesses cover fixed costs associated with energy and property tax bills. The additional resources we are making available for affected businesses today is why we set aside contingency funds in our budget, ensuring that we can respond to the needs of the people of Ontario as the pandemic unfolds. Applications open this Monday for businesses in regions that were already designated either as modified stage 2 or the red control zone. Money for these businesses will begin to flow next week. Any eligible business in a region in Ontario designated as in the red control zone or lockdown today can apply starting Tuesday. These rebates cover the entire length of time that a business is required to temporarily close or significantly restrict services. I urge every eligible business owner, whether you're in Peel, Toronto, as well as York, Hamilton, Halton, and now Durham and Waterloo regions to apply for this support. And even though Ottawa is no longer designated as a control area, eligible businesses there can still apply for a rebate to cover the period the region was under enhanced restrictions. Visit ontario.ca/COVID support to apply for relief. Again, if you are a business owner in Peel, Toronto, York, Hamilton, Halton, Durham, Waterloo, or Ottawa impacted by the recent public health measures, visit ontario.ca/COVID support. Now, I know you have a lot in your minds right now, so if any of you have questions, please call 1-855 1-855-216-3090. Again, any affected business owner that has questions, please call 1-855-216-3090. I just this afternoon spoke to the Deputy Prime Minister, and I congratulated her and the rest of the federal parliamentarians on passing legislation yesterday that enables the new supports, including the Canada Emergency Rent Subsidy, to be available to employers in Canada dealing with a second wave. And I'm pleased that Prime Minister Trudeau announced that applications for this vital program will be open next week. Ontario will continue to coordinate with the federal program and our federal partners to cover more fixed costs for businesses and ensure relief is available in the most straightforward and seamless way possible. These rebates for fixed costs are an important and immediate way our government is supporting businesses, but it's not the only way. We're also providing $60 million of grants to help small businesses with added PPE costs. Small businesses should visit ontario.ca/COVID support to access that grant. With the federal government, we're providing $57 million to bring businesses online through the Digital Main Street program. We also recently announced reduced property taxes, payroll taxes, and electricity rates to support employers now and in the future. While these necessary measures we are announcing today are a very difficult step in our response to COVID-19, the challenges of a second wave will only strengthen our collective resolve to defeat this virus. To the people of Ontario, as you continue to do your part, we reaffirm that we will continue to do ours. Thank you very much.
We'll go to the phones for questions. First question, please.
First question comes from Natasha MacDonald at Radio Canada. Please go ahead.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Premier. What is your government considering for the holidays? As you know, Quebec released a clear framework yesterday, 10 groups allowed from the 24th to the 27th, as long as they isolate before and after. Why isn't your government providing the same clarity today, and what can Ontarians expect?
Well, over the next few days, we'll be rolling that out. So just bear with us. We're working with the public health table right now.
Follow up?
Can you give more details about fines, penalties? Will you bring down the hammer if people don't listen to these restrictions, abide by the lockdown?
I don't like, Natasha, using the word bring down the hammer, but, people have to abide by the regulations and the guidelines set forward by the Chief Medical Officer of Health. This is the only way we're going to get through this. I know it's difficult for everyone. What we're doing everything we can to avoid the spread into other regions. Right now, it's Toronto and Peel. It's absolutely critical we follow the guidelines laid out.
Next question.
Next question comes from Cynthia Mulligan at City News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hello, Premier. Over the last few weeks, you have been repeatedly saying that it's people having social gatherings, private parties, whooping it up, that are responsible for the spread.
Yeah.
What in this is actually going to target them?
Yeah.
It's like you're penalizing these businesses like outdoor patios, but it's not doing anything to stop the people that will still flaunt the rules and have indoor gatherings.
Yeah, we put forward the largest fines in the country of $10,000 for anyone who's holding large parties. As Minister Elliott just mentioned, the fines are $750 per individual. But Cynthia, I'm really hoping in this crisis at this point that people are actually listening. And I truly believe even in Toronto and Peel people, vast majority of the people listen to us, but it only takes even 1% of the population not to listen, and it starts spreading throughout the community. So I'm asking everyone, please, just follow the guidelines. That's all we're asking, and we're going to get through this.
Follow up?
Okay, can you say how long you expect these measures to last? And as my teenage daughter just angrily remarked in the background, so I can go to school, but I can't have one friend over in my house. Like, how do you justify that?
I fully understand, and tell your daughter I apologize, but this is for the health and safety of her grandparents, for you, Cynthia, for me, for everyone. I'll pass it to Dr. Williams.
Well, it's a good question, and thank you to your teenage daughter for raising the issue, because at this time we have seen, especially in some of our areas, the 14 to 19 age group coming with the highest rates recently, and we're concerned about that. That means we know they can do their part, have to be really careful, really use the virtual tools that you're so adept and excellent at using. Connect on that. You have your time sometimes if you go to the school for your in-classroom setting with masking and other procedures. So it is a tough one. If we do this stringently, and if we can back off this will be great in that, but it's the youth and that, they can do it. I know they have done it before, and they can do it again, and so we have full confidence. And their ability to use social media and other methods, they outshine us all. So I think they can make that connectivity really well, but it's not easy, but we ask them to hang in and do their part too. We're all in this together.
Next question.
Next question comes from Brian Lilly at the Toronto Sun. Please go ahead.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Premier. I understand it's your birthday and you're not excited to be announcing this on your birthday.
That's for sure.
But nobody's excited to hear about it either. Still, happy birthday.
Thank you, Brian.
I wanted to hear primarily from Dr. Williams, but if you'd like to comment as well on data. The province of Alberta has started to release data on the average age of people who died from COVID-19, average age of people in the hospital, comorbidities of those who've died, and turns out 75% have 3 or more underlying conditions. So I know I've asked about this information before, and Dr. Williams, you've said you don't necessarily have it, but wouldn't that help in Dr. Williams formulating recommendations, or you, Premier, understanding who's being hurt the most by this, and then targeting measures to protect those who need the most protection?
Brian, I'll pass it to Dr. Williams. I agree with you 100%. When they give me the numbers every single night, the first thing I ask, how many people passed away in long-term care versus the general public? It's very important. Again, I agree with you 100%. We'll do everything we can to get those numbers over to you. I'll pass it to Dr. Williams.
Well, thank you, Brian. And we've been getting that data to say, does it represent, mirror what's happening in the community? The hospitalizations, the ICU admissions, the deaths still they usually follow later. We usually get a period of delay between the hospitalizations, those going to ICU, and then the deaths usually happen afterwards. When you're identifying people at a certain age is one factor. People with comorbidities, and you have to understand that there's a lot of people under the age of 80, 70, 60, and 50, and even people under the age of 40 with a number of 1 or 2 comorbidities. And we have some deaths in those age groups in that category. So it's not that people under 80 are not exposed to it, and people these days with the advantage of good quality medicine are doing quite well, but they do have these comorbidities. Some have had immunosuppressive therapy for other things, so there's a lot of susceptible, even children in our society, that we have to look out for and be careful of. The fact that we stemmed that off so far, I think it's a success to our healthcare providers, our specialists, intensivists, and others in the hospitals. We have learned a lot in that, and I can only wish that they will continue to do such an excellent job, but we don't need to overload them with that, and we don't need to test that by getting everyone infected, and especially people with predisposing factors at all age groups. So our data shows us that the hospital admissions reflect the community transmission areas and the same demographics in that. As for the results of the care, we hope that it'll be highly successful by our specialists and caregivers to keep those ICU cases length down as well as deaths down, and we would only want them to do their best.
Follow up?
I'm wondering what the next step is after this. I know one of my colleagues asked about Christmas, but once this lockdown ends, we will open up to a degree, and between now and when spring comes, cases will rise again. And I'm wondering how often we go through the cycle.
Yeah, another good question, Brian. You know, we're going to have to see how we go over the next 4 weeks, and hopefully these numbers are going to decline. We see what's happening around the country, especially out west. and around the world. And this is nothing to brag about, but we still have the lowest cases, and it's not anything to brag about because the numbers are going through the roof, and they're just going through the roof a little higher than what we're facing right now, but we have to be diligent. On a separate note, Brian, I have to compliment you because I left the house and my wife Carla, she says, the only person's articles I collect and she cuts out is your articles. And she left me with a comment to tell you that everything that Brian's saying in his articles, there's always truth to what he's writing. So that's the highest compliment I can give you when Carla's collecting all your articles. So thanks for writing those.
Next question.
Next question comes
Seriously.
from Colin DeMello at CTV News.
I'm going to run long. I'll have some commentary after this clown is done ripping your liberties.
Queen's Park Press Gallery. I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday today.
Well, likewise to you tomorrow, Colin. Happy birthday, and Cynthia as well on
Just
Sunday.
to be clear, while this masturbatory session goes on, the chatter in the background is actually in their room, not mine.
People can't attend their local
Thank you very much.
Good Laura and
It's a very big
but they can go to one in another.
announcement, the biggest
Human nature being
ever
what it is,
concerning
people are gonna
drugs
travel.
and drug
Does your
pricing.
government consider any kind of a
So
travel
today, I have
restriction
to
ensure
tell you
people
it's a
don't
great
spread
honor
the
for me to
virus to these
announce
other
that my
regions?
administration
Yeah,
is
this was
issuing
discussed
two groundbreaking
in
rules
depth, and
to
this
very
was
dramatically lower the
mentioned.
price
I
of
will send it to Dr. Williams, but this was in depth discussed. Also, places of worship. That was an hour-long discussion. But at the end of the day, and I'm a big faith believer, and I support our places of worship like you wouldn't believe. At the end of the day, I will listen and always listen to Dr. Williams and the health table. And places of worship were a tough one, let me tell you. But I'm not going to waver. We're always going to listen to the medical advice. I'll pass it to Dr. Williams.
So, Colin, the question of travel is an important one. We are asking people who are in the high areas not to go to lower color areas in that aspect there. So that doesn't only apply to lockdown versus red, it's red versus orange, etc. To limit those and not expose those populations to that unless it's really an essential visit and necessary to do so. So we haven't put that restriction on. We are asking people to adhere to that because around the lockdowns, as the Minister of Health announced, there are some have moved into red all around the GTA. So they are in the same type of number of limitations, considerably equal to that, and have to adhere to those limitations in certain facilities, social gatherings, etc., and even in the orange level around there. So adjacent has some of the same impacts, and those individuals want to do their best to keep their numbers down as well. So we're all in this together. That's why we're doing the framework, asking each group to do what they need to do, and that means you're responsible in your area, but also for the areas outside yours, because we know it affects the whole system. So we haven't put in travel restrictions. We're going to be trusting and confident that the public will do the right thing. And also those other ones in the outside areas do have limitations imposed by the red and the orange level restrictions.
We're all in this together is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. These elitist snobs are dictating where you can go, who you can be with. Wow.
Capacity limits at Walmart and Costco, but they can still hold dozens, if not hundreds of people at a time, while a small store selling clothing, as an example, can cap it at 5 people. So if you don't want crowds of people to congregate, wouldn't a smaller store for in-person retail actually be safer than everyone going to Walmart or Costco?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hallelujah.
And again, all these points, Colin, very valid, very good points. We've mentioned it to the health table. We've run through this over and over again. I know we all want to support small businesses. We really, really do, and I encourage it.
Lies.
And on the other note too, we have to keep the supply chain going for the large retail stores. I've had conversations with the CEOs of the large stores. They're concerned about the supply chain, and I've talked to some of the big manufacturers too, producers of, let's say, I'll give you an example, Kraft Heinz. I had a great conversation the other day with the CEO, and I have to just ask, I'm going to give a real request to all the big retailers, the Costco's, the Walmarts and Loblaws and Sobeys and Metro and so on and so forth. Please go easy on your suppliers. That's what I'm asking you. Please go easy, and please do not find these folks. They're struggling to put food on the shelves right now. I'll pass it to Dr. Williams.
So to be clear, in our lockdown in the areas you're concerned about, retail stores are not totally closed. They are open for curbside and delivery. And it has surprised me pleasantly of seeing how innovative and how creative they are at dealing with that. And one before was saying they're so busy on the phones getting orders in, they have to have extra people manning those. And they can hand out probably more at the curbside in a short period than they could have.
You know, this is just straight propaganda now.
I don't think it's out of the
small stores are crushed. You can't replace their income. Meanwhile, Walmart thrives. Yeah, you got to keep supply chains open and let your businesses go.
Pick up and do it quickly because they've already paid ahead of time. So they're still open for business, whether it's on Main Street or in other settings. And I would recommend that you utilize those ones, as the Premier said, in the way of virtually as best as possible, and to do your curb pickups as you get ready for gift giving, etc. So that's there, it's open, and we want to utilize that as maximum way as possible.
Last question.
Last question comes from Rob Ferguson at the Toronto Star. Please go ahead.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Premier. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Just would like to get some clarification on the mall stuff, how the malls are going to work. So, as we understand it, you can go into a mall, have a 50% capacity limit, and you can go into, say, an essential store in a mall, like a drugstore or a supermarket, but that other non-essential stores in malls can be open, but only for curbside pickup. So would they have their doors closed and they would have to make an arrangement out in the mall parking lot or on the street for people to pick up goods that they've ordered online or over the phone? And how is that going to work? It sounds a bit confusing.
I'll pass this over to the Minister of Health or Dr. Williams, either one.
This is a fucking comedy show.
You are correct, Rob. If any of the essential services stores within a mall can be open, a pharmacy, for example, or a grocery store, as you indicated. However, the other stores will be open for curbside pickup only, so you can order online. And it's our expectation that malls are going to have an outdoor location where people can come and pick up their purchases. They will have been paid for already, but we want to make sure that we don't end up with large groups of people assembling within the malls, but there can be places outside for them to come and pick up their purchases.
Seriously, we're expecting. You know winter's coming, right?
Rob?
Christine Elliott.
Thank you for that. Sounds like there might be some big traffic jams in mall parking lots. But I'm going to move on to personal care services. So I'm just not sure how far that goes. So that's barbershops, hair salons, nail salons. Is that also massage therapists, chiropractors, dentists? Where do you draw the line on that? And any clarity is welcome. Thank you.
I'll pass this to Dr. Williams. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rob. And we're going to be giving details out for those other specifics all along there. The point we're emphasizing is essential services, and you've outlined a number that we have asked to close, as you said, with hair salons and nail salons, etc., at this time in the lockdown zone as well. But there's times like the dentist's office when there's emergency and necessary care. As before, they would work out ways to see these individuals through booking and using proper PPE, because it is an essential visit and an urgent one, and that's necessary. necessary. So there's a cadre of ones, and we hope to be getting communications and information out, as well as numbers to call for clarification, because as you can imagine, there's a wide spectrum of different ones that people want to ask the specific questions about, and I want to make sure that that is done correctly. So I'm not going to go through that list right now, but we're going to put those communications and those numbers to call for advice and direction on what it means for this area and for your specific question.
That's great. Before we wrap it up, folks, I've said this before. You know, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And we have the toughest people, the most resilient people anywhere in the entire world.
Seriously.
I want to give people hope.
How?
We have
when
a
you're locking them
vaccine
down.
that should be online shortly.
You're fucking filling them with fear, Doug.
All of us, not just as government, but all of
This
us.
is not a pep
We
talk
had
that
the
works
economy on
for people
fire.
that are suicidal and lost their
jobs.
fucking
We're
living,
gonna
their whole
continue
businesses.
creating jobs. Once we get through
Wow.
this, we will light the economy on fire.
Oh,
Like
sure you will.
province has never seen.
And you know, the only people that will be left in the economy are the big business, you plug.
Again, I want to thank you for all the cooperation and collaboration.
My good God.
It's everything to us, and we will get through this together.
No.
Thank you, and again, God bless you and your families. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Wow. I cannot actually believe what I'm witnessing in real time. You know what? I don't want to get on with the old trope, is it? That we've never been more divided, but it sure feels like it, man. Everything coming out of the government is division at every level in North America. The media, especially, and government right now, they are just using this as an opportunity to rip your liberties, to scare you into submission, and to convince you that you need to take a knee right now for the team. Or else. Or else what? Or else the virus runs its course. Listen, again, I'm not the smartest guy around. But we know what works and what doesn't work. Maxime Bernier, Sunday, 3 p.m. right here, live. That guy's pretty bright. I actually voted for Max Bernier. I actually voted for him last time around, but then last week joined the Conservative Party of Canada's St. Catharines Riding Association, Electoral District Association. Sorry, I'm putting I got a bomb up in the background. I'm not watching comments right now either, but so I joined the Conservative Party of Canada in St. Catharines to vote for K.R. Davidson internally for the nomination of candidate, and dude got blocked. So they took my money and they blocked my candidate I joined to vote for. I'm not going into details. You can check it out on K.R. Davidson's wall or K.R. Davidson. Yeah, just search him on Facebook. You'll see him. They blocked him. So I want my money back. CPC. Max Bernier is the leader of the People's Party of Canada, the PPC. And he's bright. And he's more on the issues that are important to me. Free speech, immigration, guns, false narratives, media bias. He checks all the boxes for me. I've spoken to him before. He was a good conversation. He's got a good depth of knowledge, lots of experience. Was with the Conservatives, but just found himself on an island with his ideological opposition to the CPC. So, and I've been very critical of him, as I am with everyone in politics. Said that, you know, maybe he should have just bided his time and then gone for leadership inside the CPC and change it from within. But I get it. I get it. So Sunday, 3 p.m. EST, Max Bernier is the leader of the PPC, the People's Party of Canada. And like I said, I'm not an easy vote. I'd rather destroy my ballot. I've done that before. Just rejected it. If I'm not on the ballot, that is. You know how many times I've voted for Jim Fannin? Many. Anyways, lockdowns don't work. I don't know why we're going through this again. We already saw, Trudeau said earlier something like, we know it works because we did it in the spring. Okay, so what did we do? If it worked, if masks worked, and if lockdowns worked, then we knew the second wave was coming. Here's what you can't do. Again, even a guy like me can understand. You can't control a virus. You can flatten the curve, maybe, make sure the hospital's not overloaded. You can do that with social distancing and just basic hygiene. Don't touch the doorknobs. Wash your hands. Don't get up in people's grills if they're coughing and spitting and sneezing. You want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. It's not helping you. If masks are working, then why are we seeing this? Because in my town, we got 100% mask. What do you call it? When you just do what they say? Mask, you know what I mean. Participation. We've got 100% mask participation. We've had it since, I don't know, August, I think. Yeah, we brought the masks in when the infections were lowest. And guess what? We get double the infections we had in the first wave and a quarter the deaths. We understand the virus. We know that the elderly are the vulnerable. The young are not. This guy just came up here and said 14 to 18-year-olds are the, quote, highest rates recently. Highest rates of what? And what, like, he's like Trump coming out here half loaded. Like 14 to 18-year-olds. And again, you can play it back. You can rewind it to the guy with the verbal tick and that. You know, the verbal tick and that. Yeah, he said highest rates recently for 14 to 18-year-olds. Highest rates of what? Infection, transmission, death, what? All. Oh, gotta be wrong if that's what you're talking about. What are you talking about? The highest rates recently. Oh, because the 14 and 18-year-olds are transmitting it all over the place. I get it. Oh, you're going to blame it on them now. No. Take care of the 80-plus sector. Take care of the immune compromised. You want to lock them down? Great idea. Can the healthy people go back to work now? Because the lockdowns are making people jump off the bridge and out of their old age home windows with suicide notes that say, well, I couldn't see my family, so I'm out. It's no bullshit. I honestly know more people that have killed themselves during this pandemic than have gotten COVID. I know absolutely no one except my friend in the States that I know from Twitter. She got it and it fucked her up. So the federal government will support everything that the lower tiers does. In Niagara, you can't dine in public unless you're with people from your address and they're taking names at the door. Show me ID. Seriously. Like, I need someone to pinch me, man. Mark Wood put a group of people together. I think about 2,000 members so far in the Facebook group. Presented to Regional Council. I carried it live Wednesday at 4:30. Still out there. It's a 4-hour video. I did some commentary on it. We made a resolution that not only rescinded part of that in the same family or in the same household thing, and then also said, oh, and by the way, if you break the law, if you break any of our bylaws, we're going to put you in the paper. Great. So the feds are here to support that. And what I hear from Justin Trudeau, what I hear from him is be there for your neighbor. Be there. What the fuck does be there mean, man? The federal government will be here for you. Oh, really? With what? Throwing around $450 a week welfare payments to keep people home? What about the entrepreneur, the small business owner that doesn't have a payroll of $50,000 a year, that qualifies for nothing except your $450 and can't fucking make a living? How are you being there for them? How are you being there for your elderly grandparent that's in a home and hasn't seen their family in 10 months? How are you being there for the sick and the vulnerable that are dying? The average age of death is still 80 plus. How are you being there for the 80 plus sector? Clowns. So many platitudes, so much politics, and I'm fucking not having it. And what am I left with? Bitterness. Speaking of bitterness, I really enjoyed this man as a human being until I found out what he was all about and I was hopeful. A black man coming into power in the States, and then he did shit. He did nothing out of the ordinary. He's just a system guy, just an establishment president, warmonger, divisive in a really underlying way. And I'm not having it, man. Corrupt to the core. Sad, man. The propaganda continues. What else we got here? Got some Fox News, maybe? Shit. We're on commercials. Okay, so I'm just checking out some of your thoughts. Hey, Layden, if you're still hanging around, thanks for checking it out. I'm a big fan of yours, brother. And we had a good hang the other day. It was awesome. Jam night, and then I did an interview with the guy. Layton's good head. And so thanks for tuning in. I got a couple of new peeps too because of the work that I've been doing, I guess, lately on the masks, on the lockdown, on the restrictions for the businesses. Kind of a new crew that I've picked up that are supportive of that, I guess, you know what I mean? I've had these conversations with the people and broadcast the stuff, and word gets around, so I picked up a few hundred people over the last month or so. So, which is weird because my Facebook at 5,000, almost, I'm usually around 4,800, 47, 4,800. Like I just maxed out there. It's not like I'm working on like I did on Twitter. I was actually working to build it. I haven't done that on Facebook for a long time. But interesting that the majority of my crew that I had up until this point, has been sort of from the left, I think. Like, I don't get any support or love on Facebook like I do on Twitter. And I think because my Twitter followers are similar ideologically, indoctrinated, possessed, leaning, like they're mostly my Twitter following that I built over the last couple of years is mostly like MAGA conservatives, a lot of Americans. And then my Facebook friends group, after I made the news by, the DFC comment, I mean, I'm used to what I do being public. But after the DFC comment, I guess I lost some peeps. that don't like can't that didn't even watch the video. They just saw the news. They saw the headline. They read the article, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking scumbag, irredeemable," and they bailed, which is fine. A lot of them wrote me Dear John letters on the way out to make sure that they knew that I knew what a piece of shit I was. That's fair. I mean, it's cool. I just like, if you just leave, I won't notice, I promise. And so if you want to make a statement on the way up, that's fair too. Like no one said bad words or called people names before. Hang on. But, okay, the point I'm making, I'm going around in a long road here. Oh, I'm not even recording this. That's good. Maybe I'm not even streaming. Who knows? Maybe my mic's down. The new people I picked up in you know, I don't pick up 200-300 people a month ever. I'm not, like, you know, and I don't know how many I lost over the last 6 months since the fake news came out. Again, of people that never watched the video where I was totally goofing. And it was pretty funny, actually. It's on BitChute if you want to look for it. I don't know. Why is some of my most offensive stuff the shit that gets me in the most trouble? You know, when I was at the radio station, the most offensive thing I did was make fun of Grape and Wine Festival, and that got me fired. And then that was my best bit. Like, that was a solid bit. One of my best radio bits ever. It's on the you can look at I think it's Billy Sadler Grape and Wine on iTunes. It's there. It was classic. It was funny. It had a good cadence, and I'm really critical on my stuff. Like, I mostly think I suck, but if you do enough of it, some of it's got to be good at some point, or fair, even adequate, average. I strive for above, just barely above average, without any prep. I expect to be that. And so yeah, I gotta ramble on now. And then now, if I'm watching your comments, then I get thrown because like I can't even believe it. Like, you're actually listening to this right now. 80s Grape and Wine was the best, but then they changed it to the Niagara Wine Festival. I don't know this to be a fact, and I shouldn't probably propagate it, but was it Walter Senzik that was head of the Grape and Wine when they changed it from the Grape and Wine to the Niagara Wine Festival? That wasn't part of my gig when I was at 610. I made fun of them, and it got me railed out. Not that I was an employee or anything. I was a contractor. They were compensating me with advertising, basically. I did get some paid when I started filling in for the big boys. I think they paid me $100 a show. I liked it when the show was an hour and I was getting $100, but when they said, here, do 3 hours, I'm like, oh, dude, that's not $100 an hour. Oh, no, we pay $100 a show. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I love radio, so I guess I can do it. And isn't it so much better that I don't have my mug up here? I don't have to worry about a camera. What's in the background? Green screen? Shit. I don't think I've run a camera in weeks. It's fucking beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, this is a handsome human being. I mean, his ears are a little disproportionately large, but I mean, he's a pretty handsome guy. This is when you're like, shit. Did I lose the station? Is it paused? I should do that just more often. Just give you a healthy little pause. Oh, I got some tunes I can play for you, actually, that won't get me busted on YouTube. By the way, I'm broadcasting back now on TrueTube on YouTube. So the account's called TrueTube, TREW. If you're watching, what up? It's live now there. That account has 2 strikes, and it's the next one to go, probably. But I'm going to try and run it out because I just got 100 subs on that channel. I'm going to try and be a good boy. I'm not going to do too much copyright infringement shit. And, well, you get the obvious hate speech. Radio porn. Hey, what do you think? I'm going to start a channel. I'm going to start doing videos for the ladies. So when they when they come home, they can turn on, they can hit a clip that says, welcome home, honey, and it's everything you want to hear when you come home. So before you leave work and you go to your man that doesn't pay you any attention when you walk through the door, even acknowledge that you're there, get out of his chair and walk across the floor and kiss you. You can play this before you, and it just says, "Hey, honey, how are you? Oh, you look great today. Come on in, give me a hug. Oh, how was your day? How you feeling? Can I get you anything? How about a drink? Tell me about your day. How you feeling?" And just do it really slow in a really nice, romantic voice. Hey, baby. It's called female audio porn. I'm going to make a channel, an Anon channel, me just going, "Honey, don't worry about what they say at work, all right? Fuck, you're gorgeous." Yeah, those bitches, they're just jealous of you because you're hot. Now come here, give me some. Holy fuck, this show's gone off the rails. See, I've learned, fuck, my headset keeps cutting out. I've learned just ride the wave. So because I had 3 people watching, because it says watch Doug Ford rip the Liberties Trudeau left. It should have said left you. That's good enough. I just come in and I just rip the Twitter verse and the fake book world and the Twitch. Anybody that happened to be in there watching what I was broadcasting, they're kind of like my prisoner now, so I just kind of try and keep them. And then it gets to parts in the show like this where you're like, okay, fuck, I'm out. What's he talking about? Well, you want me to get back to my rant about the fucking COVID scam? Man, I get it. I love when they say, "Oh, you don't even believe in the thing." I'm like, dude, I'm a germaphobe. Okay, do it. Why is my fucking headset cutting in and out? This is bugging the hell out of me. I don't touch doorknobs. I wash my hands so much in the winter that my knuckles become red. People are like, "Dude, what are you doing, hitting the heavy bag with no gloves?" I'm like, no, I wash my hands a lot. Sorry. Seriously. I fucking hate getting sick. Worse than that, I'd hate to get someone sick. I'm gonna fucking... What do I need, a new cord? My headset's driving me nuts. See? It's like a cab drive. It's like a cab ride. It's like you go to the taxi guy, you go, "Hey, take me home." And next thing you know, you're across town, like twice as far as you were from home. Like, "Hey, dude, how about that home thing? You know where that is, actually? Because you're not going that way." And I can see the meter running there. Bye. We're $10 out and we're further away than we were. What are you fucking doing? That's what it's like when you come onto the show. It's a fucking car ride, man. It's a taxi. It's a taxi cab driver that has you hostage and is going to fucking run that fare up. Go visit true.tube. Maxime Bernier, Sunday at 3 p.m. I'm going to have him for an hour, I hope. I had him. This is my second interview with Max. Solid And even though I just joined the CPC, Conservative Party of Canada, I think I'm going to look for a refund. Or I'm going to see if I can get a refund from those fuckers. I joined only for one reason. They blocked my guy. Kara Davidson sucks. Let's see what Pence is up to.
fighting until every illegal vote is thrown out. And whatever the outcome, we will never stop fighting to make America great again. That's why Georgia and America need David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back in a Republican majority in the United States Senate.
There's already been one presidential recount by hand in Georgia. They counted almost 5 million ballots, found that Joe Biden had a lead of more than 12,000 votes. The governor of Georgia expected to certify that vote in just about a half an hour's time. Neil, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Steve. Again, waiting for the governor to do that. I wonder how the lieutenant governor feels about all of this. Jeff Duncan joins us right now. Sir, thank you for taking the time. I know you've been quite busy. The president not keen on anyone writing off an election that he thinks he won in Georgia. Do you think, from everything you've seen, sir, that Joe Biden won Georgia fair and square?
Well, we're well into the process of counting every legal vote here in Georgia. Just a few hours ago, Brad Raffensperger, our Secretary of State, signed off on certification on the election results. And I know the governor shortly will be taking that issue up in his office. I believe the process here is been one that we've paid a lot of attention to. We've focused on just following the letter of the law, Neil, and certainly proud of the effort of all the election offices on the recount that we had, the risk limiting audit that just finished a few days ago.
So you accept what the Secretary of State has said, what the governor will sign off on, that it was close, but in the end, Donald Trump lost your state.
Yeah, I definitely follow the Secretary of State's guide here that they have absolutely counted the legal votes. We continue to have a legal process for the president to be able to pursue. I know that he has the opportunity in the next few days to ask for an additional recount. I believe he has until Tuesday to make that request. But certainly, I encourage any candidate or any citizen, if you see of any sort of impropriety, now is the time to point it out to us because the hour is late.
You know, the president had, been critical of the Secretary of State. The two Republican senatorial candidates said he should step down, that, he hasn't served the people of Georgia well. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Brad Raffensperger has been great to work with from our office's perspective. Brad and I actually served in the State House Representatives together. He's a rock star conservative. He is absolutely focused in on trying to follow the letter of the law. And certainly our team has worked well with him, and they've communicated well to us as the process they're in. And look, Neil, this is not easy, right? It is absolutely in the spotlight on a national stage. But we are in making sure we count every legal vote. Every citizen in the state of Georgia that cast a vote deserves that. Every candidate's name on the ballot deserves that. And that's the process we're focused in on.
The president has been not pleased with the states that don't go his way, or feels that there's been some fraud or rigging that maybe state officials like yourself are unaware of. Mitt Romney, among others, Ben Sasse as well, saying that the president has been very undemocratic, the way he has been pressing Republicans to overturn election results. Do you believe the president has been undemocratic in his approach?
I've said this a couple of times on TV the past week or so. Look, just because the guy I voted for isn't going to win the state of Georgia doesn't mean my job description changes. I'm focused on the letter of the law. I'm focused on earning the trust of 11 million Georgians. And quite honestly, at this point, the whole country's watching. We want to make sure we put our best foot forward and earn the trust of everybody. Neil, one of the things that's hard for me to watch.
I love when I'm doing my show and just rambling away and not realizing that my mic's not on. Every time I change the input, I leave my mic off and I rant for an hour and nobody hears it. And it's some of my best stuff. Just talking about Matt McPherson. Oh my God. I really had a good rant there. Fuck. I'm such a bad producer. I was going to take a break after that long rant I just did. But I wanted to play this. Let's see if I can get this up for you. It's Matt McPherson. He's a local guy. And he sent this to me. It's 5 minutes long, so I'm gonna let it play out, and I'll come back to say exactly what I said when my mic was off. What do you think of that? Shit. Oh man, I could do that song on repeat a few times. Matt McPherson, Want Some? By M Factor, Phaktor, by M-PHAK. TOR. Want some? Nice job, Matt. Send me that and will not get me locked down. Welcome aboard. I've done like 4 shows worth of content today with my mic off. So I hope you can hear this. I'm actually recording this one. I got CTV in the background. I can switch it to Fox or CNN, and we don't need to hear them. You can see what's going on. I think, am I all right getting away with just the video? Like there's, maybe not. Maybe it's all pirating. But I am broadcasting on my one of my last remaining channels on YouTube, which is called TrueTube. Hit True.tube is the website. TrueTube does exist on YouTube as well, and I'm over 100 subs, so it's youtube.com/TREWTube. youtube.com/TrueTube. TREW. Check it out. If I run that bad boy up to 1,000 and I get rid of a couple strikes that are hanging on there, I'll put more content up and start to monetize it. But one day, this ain't going to be free no more. It'll be behind a paywall at true.tube. I guess .tube is a thing. What the fuck? I don't know. I'm almost ready to put Maddie McPherson back up. I would play some Aaron Berger, some Anthony Sweet. Oh, I don't know if I can get away with playing this. Anthony Sweet has a new album out, and I'm a huge fan. And he's done stuff for me before. And he's played the song live. I'm going to take a chance on YouTube with my third strike because I think it's important that you hear this guy's music.
My body and I'll give you my full attention. With you I'd like to dance. I love you, my boy.
do you think of that, huh? It's a fucking crazy, unbelievable talent from Niagara, Anthony Sweet, who embodies his name in a way I've never experienced in a human being before. One of the sweetest men I know. What a gift. What a absolute gift. He's been generous with his time. Love the man. He used to run a little session at the church on Sunday nights, meditation and music. At the end of Lake in Ontario there, that, what is it? It's not, I don't know, but the acoustics in that place are haunting. I have some sessions. I don't know, I have to dig them up because everything was lost on the YouTube channel, but I'll have to upload some new stuff. Here's his website, anthonysweet.com. I got an email from Spotify or something because I follow him there, and I went and I made my donation, which was more than I think he wants $10 for the album. And that song, wow, he sang this song for a hot yoga class. Actually, that's where this song was written, I think, in that class. It was developed and stuff. Excuse me. He's performed it here for me live. I've spoken to him many times. A fascinating human being and just a deep wisdom and love. Oh, man. I don't know how you can not. Listen, when, oh, shit. I forget who does his artwork. Fuck, Jeff. What's the Jeff? Fuck. See, my brain goes to mush. Too much broadcasting today. Jeff, what's the artist's name that painted this picture of him holding that cup right there? I think is. Let's see. As soon as I see the artwork, there it is. Jeff, when that guy starts doing your portraits, like this is like, I know I've made it if I get Jeff to do my portrait. Damn it. I'm drawing a blank. It's right on the tip of my tongue. He's the artist that's done a lot of, he's just done a lot of stuff, but he's done recently some musicians. Jeff, what the fuck? I am brain dead today. I'm suffering. I'm in the basement a little bit mentally. I've been down with a sciatica for weeks, months, really, a couple months now. And then, guess what? Then my back goes out. See, the sciatic is different. It's in my cheek. It goes all the way down my right leg, in the back of my knee, everything. It's just fucked up. If you've had it, you know what I mean. But then the other day I get out of bed, I can't walk. Not because of the sciatic. I mean, that's painful, but like I've been working through it. But yeah, I can't walk. Now my back's out. And doing this show doesn't help. This chair that I'm in is murdering me. So my mother got in my head, or God, or whoever talks to me, that is the reasonable voice, maybe it's just me, said, dude, walk. So you know where I went? I walked down the pier to the end of the rear lighthouse. It's brand new and it's fucking beautiful. And I was alone. I put it up on the YouTube channel. I think it's on the TrueTube channel. I posted it today on Facebook. It was cool. It was windy as shit. In fact, on the way back, I'm like, dude, I didn't film on the way back because the phone got blown out of my hand. But like I had to make sure because there's no ladders. If you go down out there, you're swimming the cut or whatever to find a spot to get out. It was windy, man. Anyways, go check out my boy Anthony. I'm still broadcasting on YouTube, so I'm hoping that doesn't trigger anything. I'm pretty sure Anthony's okay with me playing his stuff. Matt McPherson was the last tune I had up. Get Some, Want Some. Great tune. So go slap down your money. I think he wants $10. Give him 20. This is it. Anthony Sweet. Jeff, why is it still not coming to me? Oh my gosh. Anyway, thanks for checking out the stream. I was going off after Trudeau. I didn't provide commentary for Trudeau. Like, I didn't interrupt him. I let Ford speak too. But, and then at the end, I think I did a show's worth of content with my mic off, and that's because I'm the worst producer in the world. And then we're in lockdown in Toronto. So I carried the Ford Fear Fest. Don't see your family. Don't do anything that could, provide relief from a lockdown. Isolate at home. Don't travel. Don't see your loved ones. Just stay home. I can't believe this. Look at these clowns. Nice mask. Yeah, put it right over your eyes, you dolt. What? Oh, I'm so fucking angry. How do you get over the anger? These are the strangest freaking times ever. If you want to go here, you can search Anthony Sweet on Apple Podcast. And you can hear him play. I don't know how to do it. Oh, here we go. Where's the search? This isn't a search. No. How come we can't search podcasts when you're here? It's an Apple Podcast. You should be able to go just search Jim Fannin and Anthony Sweet, and it'll pull up some live performances and an interview or two. These are my latest ones. Mark Wood was on. He was great. I came in like I'm doing right now at the end of the last press conference that Trump did. I don't know. I think I went for about 45 minutes or so. This is the first Zoom style show I did. Had a guy call in from Australia. Actually, a guy that watches. What up, Andrew? Paul Layton was a good show. Rob Berry was a good show. This is a whole show. Yeah, so I'm getting more of this stuff up there. But if you want to see who we were just talking about, which is this guy, you can hear my conversations with him on iTunes or Acast or FM radio or Stitcher or just about any. I'm waiting to come on to Amazon Music. Apparently I'm not there yet, but I should be. I should have been there weeks ago when they first came out. I know they got a backlog probably, but you should be able to find a Jim Fannin show. And the whole, like, there's 209 episodes or something there, including the show that I did that got me fired from 610. Now, you know what's not there is the hate-filled feminist pigs rant. I don't think I put that on the podcast. I should, though. Like, why censor yourself? It's out there. It's just on BitChute, so I haven't taken the time to use the BitChute converter. I don't know if there is one, but like that's how I get my podcast. I just convert the YouTube channel over to MP3, download it, upload it, tag it, blah blah blah. I know it's kind of fucking basic, but one man can only do so much. I already suck as a producer. So, Maxime Bernier, Sunday, 3 p.m. right here, live. Maxime is the leader of the PPC, the People's Party of Canada, and I voted for him last time. And he's more ideologically aligned with my newfound moderate center-right position on free speech, on gun laws, on abortion, on immigration, on social services to a point. So Max Bernier is the leader of the People's Party of Canada. Here, wherever you're watching or listening now, we'll be live here. For about an hour. Good conversation, bright guy, lots of experience. Appreciate his work. Sunday, 3 p.m. EST, right here. So on the way out, as we're watching Bell Media, not now we're not. What the fuck was that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put your eyes through this. Oh my goodness. Oh, in this. Oh. Let's just stick. Oh, fuck off. See, this is fear. Okay. It's, let's say 5 times more deadly than the flu. It's maybe 5 times more contagious. Maybe not. Maybe, you know, how much more contagious is the flu or the common cold compared to this? Can anyone tell me that? All I know is you're not catching this through airborne particles for the most part. You might infect surfaces with your airborne particles, but you're not catching it through an airborne transmission. It's not fucking happening. You can't convince me that it is because you don't have the data. So wear your masks if you want to, but lockdowns don't work. The WHO of all people just said it should be a last resort. And what are they doing? Oh, spiking cases, not deaths. Spiking cases, lockdown. By my math and by the world meters data, again, this is kind of repeating myself, but I'm not sure how much I've done with my mic on today. These are daily new cases. This is Canada. This is worldmeters.info. I see a lot of, quote, media sources using these stats. Oh, goodness gracious. Here's the first wave. Let's call it 2,000 cases per day. Here's where masks come in. Here's where we are now. Double. Okay, now I'm not a rocket surgeon, but this is pretty solid data. Very basic, very crude. There's not much analysis here. Just raw numbers on a daily basis. Now, you tell me that with double the infections, we've gone from a peak, let's call it 200, to less than 100. So at least half with double the infections. Who's dying? 80 plus? The average age of death is 80. The average, you know how many people older than 80 have to die to get an average of 80? Lots. What, half? I don't know. 80 is... No, I'm not insensitive to the elderly. We should be protecting them. We understand the virus now. That's why we're not getting this. And just this. With double this. Fuck. And then this. Lockdown. The 5 is a decent show. Geraldo Rivera is a wiener. Judge Janine, not a huge fan either, but they usually have a good crew on this show. And they have some fun and usually learn something. But this, daily new cases, double what they were in April when we had our last wave 1. This is Canadian cases. And daily Canadian deaths. What am I missing? Lockdown? Lockdown. What are the year-over-year deaths? Can anyone provide me what the last 6 months were compared to 2019? I bet you they're about in line with what they were last year. That's just a different flu, taking out the elderly. So let's protect them. There's no way you can control the virus, or what you did would have helped. Nothing. I mean, we knew the second wave was coming. It's going to run its course when we reach herd immunity, I guess. I understand the flattening of the curve, make sure that the medical system's not overwhelmed, but that's not our experience with this virus, even through phase 1. I mean, if you look at the States, they mobilized all these hospitals and medical ships and temporary structures to house people, and they didn't need them. The emergency rooms were empty. The hospitals were empty. We laid everyone off because we did away with all the elective surgeries, and lots of people stopped going for their cancer treatments, and like fear. We didn't need it. You keep your distance, wash your hands. That's it. We could have accomplished the measures we've accomplished now and all been working if we just kept our distance and washed our hands on the regular. You want to use the alcohol shit? Fine. I'm not touching that garbage ever. I never have, and I'm not starting now. Soap and water, baby. I'm telling you, I've never put that that hand sanitizer. I don't buy antibacterial soap. I have very strong beliefs, so I have for many years. You need a little bit of bacteria on your hands to keep the big ones off, is the theory. And it's gross. It soaks into your skin. It's an unnecessary toxin in my body I don't need. I put enough into my own body voluntarily. I don't need to be fucking washing my hands in garbage. It soaks into my skin. No, I'm not doing it. You know what you should do? Take care of your immune system. You want to do something for your family? Go right now and buy a bottle of hemp oil and start shooting that into your gullet every day. Just a shot, a couple tablespoons. Start with a couple tablespoons. A fluid shot would be good because your body needs it, and it's just essential fatty acids. There's no THC, no CBDs. I should make one with a CBD mix in it. There's probably... Yeah, it's coming. Maybe. It's been coming for 20 years. Go and buy yourself some hemp oil. Get your EFAs up. Take care of your immune system. Get lots of fresh air and exercise. That's the best thing that you can do right now, is just take care of your body. Listen to me. I'm talking to you, partially paralyzed from, back problems and sciatic to boot. Telling everyone to take care of their body. What a fucking hypocrite. Here, I'm going to have a drink too while we're saying. Well, I'll get back to your comments maybe, but you guys always distract me, so I'm better off just fucking going blind. I start reacting to you. My show starts to suck even more than it does now. You know what Ford said today? I'm masking everyone. I'm asking everyone to stay home. I'm asking everyone. It's very subtle, but I'm asking everyone to just take it easy. I'm asking you. I'm only going to mask you one more time. I'm asking you outside to be careful. I'm asking you to... I'm asking you in your home to not touch your loved ones. I'm asking you to wear a mask while you have sex. I'm asking you. I'm asking everyone. And the doctor came out, the provincial doctor, whatever, the Williams or whatever, was that the guy? Who's the guy with the funny mustache? I don't know what he said. You guys can rewind and tell me. It doesn't matter, I'm not watching, but 14 to 18-year-olds, he said, are, quote, highest rates recently. Highest rates of what? Deaths? No. Transmission? No. Oh, maybe some a sports team went to a bar or something. They tracked them and they gave everyone COVID. You understand that the only reason they are tracking COVID to restaurants is because that's the only place that actually tracks people? Hello? You're falling for it, right? Oh, right. It's the restaurants. Why? Oh, because the restaurants are the only people that take tracking information for the customers to come through the door. Oh, really? Yes. Fucking idiots. The doctor with the verbal tick. Nat. So we're going to try Nat. We're going to try to be there for each other in that. We support all restrictions in that. We support your liberties being restricted in that. And then Trudeau, I'm sure, and I haven't done this, I have to go back. I thought I was going to come out here later and do something, but again, I've done 4 shows worth of content with my mic off today. Is my mic on? Oh, wow, it is. Trudeau was mentioning the vulnerable, the elderly, the immune compromised, and women. Huh? Yeah, women. So I'm not a big fan of victimizing women. I'm not a fan of, well, first of all, I'm not a fan of this idea that men and women are equal, because we're clearly not. Men are stronger. Women are more emotional. Or take care of, like, I don't know, they have a more motherly instinct because they give birth to our children, and that's why they deserve to be respected and protected. But it's not like they're oppressed and they need support from COVID that no one else does. You know who needs support? 80-plus-year-olds in the old age homes. Yeah, we're clear on that. But Trudeau came out today, and I got to go back. I only heard it the first time, but I'm sure that while mentioning the most vulnerable to COVID, he slid in women. Women are not disproportionately getting COVID. Same with minorities. I posted that the other day. Minorities are not disproportionately dying or getting COVID. Well, not from the data I've seen anyway. Prove me wrong. Oh, sorry. I'm still on this. Prove me wrong. Show me some stats. Please. Correct me. CTV is owned by Bell. This is CNN. Same thing. Okay, commercial break. My drink is empty. I'm having hopefully my headache's going to go away. I took a couple of ibuprofen. Got my walk in again today, not down the pier. I did post a video of the new pier break-in that I accomplished. Walk down to the end of it. This is it. True.tube. Fuck, I don't. No, it's okay. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of my big mug being up there. I told him to change this. Come to and look, Kate sent you 6 pictures. Like, why am my site's getting spammed? I think. Web guy, what up? Hook me up. I don't want spam on my site. That's fucking gay. All right, so I'm gonna put Maddie McPherson back up because, or did I play that one? Oh yeah, I played. Oh, maybe I should play another Anthony Sweet tune. He is such a beautiful human. Oh, I shouldn't be showing you this. Let's go back to this so I can do my work privately. Where is Anthony? Here he is. Is the whole album here? Open as the sky. What's this? Add to. Now playing a new playlist. This. Why can't you just? I'm in Windows right now, and I'm trying to figure out how. Can I just add it to iTunes, please? Anyone? So that's my body. Why can't I skip forward? Is this the only one song? No, it's an album. Listen to me. I'm gonna be okay, guys. Seriously. Oh, it's only one song in there. Body Love. What the piss? Where's my Anthony Sweet tunes? Anyway. I already played that one. Can't play that one again. I put Matt McPherson in here. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Anyway. Street Sweeper is what I want to play. This is what's up on iTunes right now. But as soon as I play it... Oh, no. Okay, he's there. Oh, it's playing again? Okay, let's pause this. I can't pull up the album. That's the only song I have. I can play a little clip of this, but it'll get me cut. Just Street Sweeper. That's just a tease. Burger, Blake, and Gould. Maybe I'll crash the jam session tonight. Nobody wants Jimmy Fallon to be crashing their party.
You make a very good point, Don Davis. Mr. Algabra, a little bit more transparency. Don't you think that would be good? A little bit more transparency. Just tell the people the truth. Not false hopes, the truth.
Joyce, we have been telling the truth to Canadians and to parliamentarians throughout this process. And I welcome, and in fact, I agree with you and I agree with Don, parliamentarians of all stripes need to work together for the betterment of our country.
That's your job. You shuttered Parliament. You haven't allowed us to have committees.
To fight this virus.
It's laughable. It's enough.
Now the expectations of a virus, vaccine is still ongoing. We don't know when the vaccine's clinical trials will be over. We don't know which vaccines will be approved. However, and by the way, the Prime Minister had conversations with the opposition leaders yesterday to brief them on what's happening, on the government's plan.
None of them.
And we will.
No, no, Mr. Algabra, the government did not brief them on the government's plan. It was a briefing by Dr. Theresa Tam on the modeling. That was the briefing yesterday. Now, that's unfortunately all the time that we have. And you guys were great. We'll have you again. I see Michelle Rempel is shaking her head. And have a great weekend. And this conversation, sadly, will continue in weeks and months to come. Have a great weekend, Omar Algabra, Michelle Rempel, Don Davis. Thanks for being there. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show and your leaders here in Ottawa. Please reach out through social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and email. And coming up, the second wave continues to wreak havoc across the country. It is coming down hard on Indigenous communities. Are those communities receiving the support they need from the federal government? Stay with Power Play. We'll be right back after these messages.
From our families to yours, nutritious Canadian
That is how you do that if you're Anthony Sweet. It's off his new album. Listen to me like being a DJ and shit. From his upcoming album, Anthony Sweet. Search him on iTunes, podcast with me for an interview and some music. As it turns out, I do have a life. I'm going to punch out now. Thanks for joining me and checking out the new tunes. Go see this man's, what is it, Bandcamp, where you can buy the tunes, I think. I don't know. Search Anthony Sweet, go buy his new album. It's hot. It's beautiful. Book him for an upcoming show. Support your local music. And don't buy into the fear. Keep your distance. Wash your hands. Throw your masks in the garbage. And love your neighbor. I'm out.